This is the neighborhood I deal with is part of early Denver and early Hispanic Denver, and that's really what my artwork as an artist, what I represent and paint about, is that history. So I come from this, and nowhere else would you see this part. Well, some of my work, but here from Denver, it's very located here. During the civil rights movement and the Chicano civil rights movement, known as El Movimiento, in the 1970s, became very informative for me to realize the importance of our culture and to document it. And that's what I do as a painter. I document our culture and create artwork of this time and this place, which is where I live in Denver. Life at my grandparents' house in Denver's West Side is one of my earliest memories. Every Sunday, our family would attend Mass at St. Cajetan's Church, which was the heart of the Hispanic community from the 1920s until the neighborhood displacement in the early 1970s. In the summers, as a young child, I would spend a week with my grandparents who lived in the North Lincoln housing projects, about 6 blocks from St. Cajetan's. I remember waking up early on Sunday mornings to the smell of fresh tortillas from the surrounding homes coming through our open windows. At breakfast, my grandma Lorencita would make sure my dress shirt was ironed and crisp. Grandpa Fernando Fresquez would be ready to head out the front door, standing tall in the cowboy hat he always wore. Walking down the sidewalk, my grandmother would often pass a neighbor friend without slowing down at all and say, "Hola, vecina." She would call back over her shoulder and that we had to keep moving to get to the church on time. Once we had crossed Colfax, we would walk over to 9th Street, and this was my favorite part of the walk because I love the look and feel of the old modest Victorian homes, but it was here that I would start looking for a stick. But it couldn't just be any stick. It couldn't be too short or too long. I'd search for the perfect dried out fragment of a small branch. My grandpa Fresquez would almost always be the first to find it. And I'd be, "All right, he found the perfect stick," So I could walk down 9th Street and I could drag this stick against the wrought iron fences that defined the front yards of every home. Tat, 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 the stick would sound as it stuttered across each section of black iron. At some point, I let go of the stick and I traded it for a paintbrush. 45 years later, that sound and rhythm is still in my ears as I walk on to the Auraria campus. As a professor of art, I study and teach the formal elements of making art, but always I carry the rhythm of this neighborhood inside me. Every fall and spring, I begin a new semester with a new group of students, and the rhythm continues. With each new series of paintings I begin, the rhythm continues. As I hold a paintbrush like a stick, I know that the rhythm and echoes of this neighborhood and community will always live in my heart and work.